Thanks for joining us for this month's Antonelli's Cheese Club. My name is Matt and this is Henry, and we are going to guide you through lots of tasty cheeses this month. You're joining us in the Cheese House here in Austin, Texas, and this month we are celebrating American classics. There is the American Cheese Society that annually judges hundreds, if not a couple thousand, different cheeses made from all different makers around the country. And this month we have some of the top winners. So I'm really excited to dive into the different selections that we have for you today.
Yeah.
If you signed up for our deluxe box, you'll have a couple extra pairings to enjoy with these goodies. And we have some really good combinations for you. So I am excited. This first cheese that we have in the box is going to be a beautiful fresh goat milk cheese from Blakesville Creamery out of New York. They're a creamery that I have strong memories attached to. Right at the end of the pandemic, we got in a beautiful cheese from Blakesville, and we filmed a little commercial where I had to just keep eating their cheese on camera over and over. It was silly, but really developed a taste for it. They actually only opened their creamery around March of 2020, right at the start of the pandemic. So a tough time for many people, and I'm so glad that they were able to overcome those obstacles. The chef that they put together is gorgeous, really soft and spreadable, very silky mouthfeel to it. Nice, bright, salty tang that's beautiful with things like honey, fresh berries. The salted cantaloupe that we have in the deluxe box for you is a beautiful complement to the flavors and textures here. Just on a nice crispy cracker or a crunchy baguette is a beautiful vehicle for that delicious bite. Have you tasted a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have always been blown away with Blakesville. I think they just have really fantastic, high quality milk, both for a producer who is so new on the scene and then also someone who had to go through all the chaos of opening up in 2020. I've always been really impressed with their stuff, both this fresh chev and some of their more aged stuff. So just excellent.
It's really, really good stuff. This was the first time I got to taste their fresh cheese, and I was really, really impressed. So I hope that y'all enjoy that first bite. What's the second cheese that we have here?
So this is going to be Little Hosmer. This is coming out of Jasper Hill Farmstead up in Vermont. They are a favorite of ours around the shop for good reason. This particular one was third place in its category this last year, and it's just a really lovely, light, sort of brie style. Jasper Hill is all about their local community. They're very sort of focused on supporting the folks around them, and so as an extension of that, all of their cheeses are going to be named after sort of features of the landscape and the history of their neighborhood in Vermont. So this one's actually named after a pond that is sort of right off the property there. And yeah, when I think this is the first time I've tried this one, although I absolutely love right about everything else I've tasted at Jasper Hill. And yeah, once again, just a hit, really nice and light, great snacking cheese. I could see this on a picnic really beautifully. Yeah, just very delicate.
Very much so. You get that beautiful like sweet cream, butter sort of flavor, but also this nice mushroomy and vegetal character to it that's really pleasant. This is a totally edible rind, and I would encourage you to just slice straight through that guy and take a whole bite, because the rind will add a whole lot of extra texture and flavor that could enhance the experience quite a bit for you. So really delicious bite. The folks at Jasper Hills are super sweet, and they make incredible cheese, so very happy to represent them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheese number 3, we have a beautiful Texas cheese.
Absolutely.
Riverway Creamery, one of my favorite producers. Tell us a little bit about that goodie.
Well, yeah, so this is going to be made by Susan Rigg and the folks out at Riverway in Schertz, Texas, Red Bluff, San Antonio. This one is a really lovely sort of interpretation of Northern Italian style cheeses. This one specifically being then sort of rubbed with Texas olive oil, which gives it this really lovely, just nutty, earthy character, especially because they didn't take it down and age it in their sort of man-made cheese cave, which really brings in some lovely, earthy, cool flavors. This one for me is just, it's got a lovely sort of grittiness to it while still being smooth.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
crumbly on the plate, but very creamy.
Exactly. It's got that kind of melt in your mouth. nature to it, which I think is fantastic.
On Riverway's website, they have a lot of different recipes with their different cheeses, and for this one, they highlight a carbonara pasta sauce where you just mix in a little bit of that Keystone, and that sounds so tasty to me. It's really full flavored, it's savory, it's acidic, it's creamy, it's salty. It's good cheese.
It is.
I
mean,
that a lot.
there's a reason this one was first in its category. It's excellent stuff.
And super proud of them. Yeah. Congrats.
Gotta shout out our Texas makers.
Next cheese on the plate is an absolute cheesemonger's cheese. This is the most awarded cheese in the United States. It has a really cool history and really cool story, plus it's super delicious. Tell us about the Pleasant Ridge Reserve.
Yeah, so I mean, like Matt's saying, this one is very much a storied cheese in the American Cheese Society. It's won overall 3 times, which is more than any other cheese has. This past year, it was tied for 3rd place overall again, so it's a pretty great cheese. But really that comes down to the dedication of the folks at Uplands Dairy. They are focused on the traditional Alpine style of cheese production of transhumance. Now typically in the Alps, that's where you're taking the animals up the mountains in the summer and bringing them back down in the winter. That's not so much a thing in Wisconsin, but they're still doing that process where the animals are out grazing on these lovely green pastures, and green pastures that they have worked very hard to make sure are exactly how they need them to be. They actually spent 5 years just on their grassland before they ever put an animal on it, and this is one of 2 cheeses they make because they have their summer and they have their winter, and that's all. They're very focused on a particular set of flavors, and that's why they are just so consistently amazing. This one is subtle and complex, and I feel like ever-changing from batch to batch and from day to day. It's gorgeous.
We're very fortunate. Every year we get to do a little batch selection and taste through a couple different batches of the Pleasant Ridge Reserve and pick the one that is our favorite and will work the best for our customers. This year we selected a batch that has this extra like chicken broth savory character to it, really rich nutty flavors and a texture that is sliceable but also meltable. So this is something you could put on a nice hot sandwich, put it on a French onion soup. It just has this wonderful bite to it that will really enliven any dish. So fantastic stuff.
Absolutely.
Final cheese that we have on the plate, a beautiful blue cheese. This one is coming from Old Chatham Creamery out of New York. A really beautiful mixed milk cheese here. We have a combination of cow, goat, and sheep's milk. Old Chatham Creamery was actually one of the first sheep dairies in the United States, and they kind of pushed that trend forward, and I'm a huge fan of sheep milk cheeses. Really brings an extra richness because of the extra butter fat that you get out of that sheep's milk, and you can totally taste that out of this beautiful blue cheese. Again, very crumbly on the plate, but super creamy and luscious and velvety when you take a bite. You get this wonderful sweet cream flavor up front, nice fruitiness there, and then just a hint of that peppery, piquant character that we associate with blue cheeses. For anybody who's a little bit hesitant on their blues, our strategy is a little sugar helps the medicine go down. So if you got our deluxe box, that hazelnut brittle with this bite is gonna be fantastic. Or try things like a shortbread cookie, some fresh berries, some honey, or even a nice caramel on that blue cheese is beautiful. Just leaning into those desserty flavors tends to make it really, really delicious.
I mean, you see it basically every day in the cheese shop. Someone will come in and say they're not a big fan of blue, and I say, try it with a little bit of honey.
Yeah.
Completely transformed.
It worked for me.
There you go.
Fantastic, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for this month's Antonelli's Cheese Club. Please come and join us next month. We're going to be celebrating some of our favorite makers and exploring the stories behind how they got where they are. So going to be a lot of fun things to learn and a lot of good bites to enjoy. Have a fantastic May, and we will see you next month. Thank you.